Hey folks, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I am your host. First of all, I want to alert you to some great interviews I'm going to be doing of some authors. A New York Times best-selling author, David Horowitz. I also have another author that's coming up. He's going to be a real surprise. I'm also going to be interviewing a local author, someone who's written and published something. He's a Louisville resident. So I got to get him interviewed and then get that interview edited and put out there. As I draw closer to one particular interview, I'm recording it February 3rd. Boy, that interview is going to open some eyes, and I'm really, really looking forward to doing it. Because it's time that this individual and other individuals like him are given an opportunity to freely speak. There's some people in this country who are making a very deliberate effort to silence this man's voice and voices like this man. But he, by the grace of God, keeps plugging away and will speak to whoever will listen. And we're definitely going to listen. Here at Book Talk with Corbin, we're definitely going to listen to him and hear what he's got to say, because what he has to say is very important. So be waiting for that interview. Right now, I wanted to talk about an article that was put out by the Final Call on January 24, 2023. And it's in their section, How to Eat to Live, by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, Elijah Muhammad is viewed by the Nation of Islam in a particular manner that I do not agree with, because I'm a Christian. But I will say this about Elijah Muhammad. He is probably one of the most misunderstood and, I would say, well, let me just put it in this simple terms. There needs to be more and more study about Elijah Muhammad and his accomplishments. This man didn't finish high school, and yet he built one of the strongest, most disciplined and prosperous movements within the black community. What he did is really quite amazing. And another thing he's done, published 2 books called How to Eat to Live, Part 1 and 2. Those books are very influential on some critical figures in the history of black folk in the United States of America. I know this for a fact, because there are some very famous black scholars I've met with privately. And we've had a lot of discussions on things. And I'm telling you, in a couple of those conversations, they brought up How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad and how influential it was for them. Let me read an excerpt from this article. Again, this is from the Final Call, January 24, 2023. I'll just read the first 2 paragraphs here. In order to lengthen our lives, we must begin with what we put in us that retains life. In order to lengthen our lives, we must begin with what we put in us that retains life. There is not a shadow of doubt that He, Allah, has taken the proper steps to give us more life in order to have and enjoy the pleasures of life. He, Allah, said, what we eat keeps us here, and the same will take us away. Suppose we ate 1/2 pound of food a day. At the end of 365 days, we will have eaten 882.5 pounds of food per year. But we eat more than this amount. For instance, if we live 50 years, we would eat 50 times this much food at a 1/2 pound of food a day. If we saw 9,000 pounds of raw food piled up before us to consume, we would think this would be a lot of food to go through our bodies. And we would think that it probably would wear us out to eat that much food in our lifetime, although we eat tons of food in our lifetime. And if this food is not the proper food to eat, it will wear away our body and cut short 70 years of our lives. Now, I'm not asking people to agree with this or disagree with this. Basically what he's saying is what we put in our bodies, i.e. what we consume, what we eat, is going to impact our lives for the good or for the bad. I'm not asking you to agree with that or disagree with that. I'm not asking you to agree with his theology, what he says about Master Fard Muhammad or what have you. What I'm saying to folks is that let's examine that scientifically. Let's have a rational, scientific discussion about what he said, because basically what he's saying is what you put in your body is important. You need to be mindful of it. And not only what you put in your body, but how much you put in your body. You need to be mindful of it. That's what he's saying. And that's what I'm saying, that people need to, particularly black folk in America, need to really discuss from a scientific point of view. Again, for myself, I don't care about the theology. I disagree with the theology, period. But what I do care about is what he's saying, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, about health. Now, How to Eat to Live has been in publication, continuous publication, for close to 50, 60 years. That is phenomenal for any book. You need to take that consideration. And I think, my opinion, has been in continuous publication for that long, is because of the very sound health advice it gives. But I'm not saying to folks, hey, adopt it wholesale. What I'm saying is check it out, examine it, buy the book, engage in a rational discussion about it. Forget all the other smoke that people might say about the Nation of Islam. Oh, are they authentic Muslims? Are they committing shirk? Are they anti-Semitic? Man, forget all that stuff, dude. Drop all that stuff. Go discuss that later somewhere else. But when it comes to How to Eat to Live, Part 1 and Part 2 by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you need to check it out. Discuss it. Say to yourself, do I disagree with this? If so, why? If I agree with this, if so, why? That's all I'm saying to folks. That's a very influential book, and I think it's influential for a reason. And I think one of the reasons why it's influential is because some people have been able to take a more rational, scientific look at what is said in those two books and come to realize, hey, this makes sense. But I'm not telling you to reach that conclusion. I'm just saying to folk, hey, you reach your own conclusion. The only way you can reach your own conclusion is to read the book and then have a discussion about what's in it with other folk. Okay, guys, this is Book Talk with Corbin. My website, booktalkwithcorbin.com. Check it out.